I want to thank my patron supporters who are helping me to make more videos more often. If you'd like to become a patron supporter, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. Thank you for watching this video. Hey everybody, this is TJR. After I posted my non-Swiftie review of Taylor Swift's recent album entitled Folklore, I said that I would now be interested in hearing whatever she does next. Well, next came a lot sooner than I expected, as Taylor Swift released a concert film entitled Folklore, the Long Pond Studio Sessions, on the Disney Plus streaming service on Thanksgiving Day. The film was directed by Swift and also features her co-producers, Aaron Dessner of The National, who helped co-write more than half of the songs on Folklore, along with Jack Antonoff of The Bleachers, and also a longtime Swift collaborator. This film has them coming together for the first time in the same place to perform the album after isolating themselves separately due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Justin Vernon of Bon Iver also appears remotely to perform the track Exile. Now, before I get too deep into this, one aside that I do have to bring up and just get off my chest is, why was Justin Vernon wearing a mask during his performance? He is, after all, appearing remotely, and the others have also isolated and I presume tested before getting together before filming. I can't see any reason why he had to wear a mask during this performance, since he is performing remotely from the others who did in fact isolate and I presume tested before getting together for filming. Was he trying to make a statement? Did he just think that it looked cool? It's mostly irrelevant to the performances and to this review, and maybe I shouldn't even bring it up, but for a brief moment, it took me out of the film and it took me out of the performances. Everything was shot at the Long Pond Studio, which is a secluded cabin/recording studio in upstate New York owned by Dessner, and is described as an intimate musical performance. And it definitely does deliver in this regard. Swift, Dessner, and Antonoff perform stripped-down arrangements of an album that was already much more sparse than any previous Taylor Swift album. Even though arrangements were kept simple and sparse, a few performances did make use of sequence instruments. It is kept down to a minimum, and I only noticed it on 2 songs. Between performances, the film has the 3 musical collaborators discussing song meanings and the songwriting process. And listening to the songwriting discussions, I get the impression that the 2 collaborated in a style that is best compared to the 2 Room style of Elton John and Bernie Taupin. Only in this case, it seems that Aaron created the music first, followed by Taylor writing lyrics and vocal melodies. The film also reveals that the mystery co-songwriter, William Bowery, on the track Exile, was an alias for Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Joe Alwyn, whom she says was sitting at the piano one day when he just simply popped off the first verse fully formed. Now, even though I still don't consider myself to be a Taylor Swift fan, I do have to say that I enjoyed this film and really admired the performances. These performances are best described as immaculate in both their execution and their production. Now, sometimes when a musical performance seems too perfect, I get suspicious that it might not really be live. But a quick back-to-back comparison between the film's soundtrack and the album proved my suspicions to be wrong. I should add that I honestly found myself enjoying these live versions better than their studio counterparts, although your mileage may vary. And honestly, if I decide to hear this album in the future, and I probably will elect to, I will choose more than likely to listen to these live versions over the studio versions. And if I do decide that I'm going to purchase this album, and I'm actually starting to feel some compulsion to do so, it's going to be the Long Pond Studio Sessions that I pick up. Now, I am well aware that all the Swifties out there don't need any recommendation from me in regards to this film, but I would definitely recommend this film to the uninitiated. But mostly, I want to say that I really liked the very simple and intimate format that this film embraced. And honestly, I wish that more music artists would make films like this, wherein the artist or band performs a song and then gives insight into the creative process and the song's meaning. In fact, I really think that it would be great to have a regular series like this. And right now, during this pandemic, with streaming services unable to produce new content in the way that they are used to, these kind of intimate concert documentaries seem like a no-brainer. You know, ever since the pandemic, Norah Jones has been releasing these extremely simply made performances in her home at the piano, where she just performs a couple songs. Disney Plus, perhaps you should contact her and see about making this type of a film with her. Another idea that might be good, especially to help expose the world to, say, perhaps more up-and-coming artists, would be to have a big name as the headliner, and then a couple of other artists who may be not as well known or up-and-coming to serve as openers. Each performer does a couple songs, and in between each song, they talk a little bit about their song's meanings, where they came up with the idea, and their songwriting process. I think that a series like this would be very good for music fans, for the music industry, and for music in general. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment. And if you like what I'm doing, please be sure to click like, click subscribe, and smash that bell notification icon so you can know when I release new videos. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.